It's one of the biggest rail projects in the world, worth 51 billion rand, and it's going to change passenger rail in South Africa. The Gibela consortium today started revealing some of its plans to deliver 600 passenger trains over the next 10 years. Joining me with some of the detail is Gibela CEO Marc Granger. Marc, thanks very much for coming through today. So it's an area that hasn't had much investment in South Africa passenger rail, apart from the Gauteng development a couple of years ago. What's the end result going to be for the country? What's the legacy of this going to be?
So the legacy will be obviously first quantity of new trains which are far different from the one who are currently operated, because those ones are very old, as you know. But overall, the legacy will be a revitalized industry, a lot of people involved, a lot of people with new skills, and a lot of social economic benefit overall for the country.
Yeah, because it's not just about the 600 trains, it's obviously about creating jobs and other industries also participating in this. So I mean, there will be a big economic benefit for the country. How many jobs would you see being created?
So Gibela, who is the company who has just been created, will execute this contract, will build its own manufacturing facilities. So we will have some direct employees that will work on the train assembly. So the answer to your question for that part is roughly 1,500 people. But obviously, as we have committed and we are willing to localize the vast majority of all the activity, not only the train assembly, but also all the sub-components, the raw materials, and so on. Altogether, we may consider that the overall direct jobs created will be several thousand. The order of magnitude could be 8,000, and on top of which, obviously, some indirect jobs will be triggered by this activity.
I mean, so 65%, that's the minimum local content for the project, or for the trains. I mean, if you look at the industries that are going to be involved, are they ready for this? Are the components ready? Do they need to gear up as well for the project?
So are they ready? Globally speaking, I would say no. And the different suppliers we intend to involve for either raw material or sub parts or even large components, we may say that they are not ready. There are some company already engaged in railway activity that could grow and develop themselves to serve our need, but there are also a lot that needs to be created, and we have different ways to make that happen, either starting from scratch, some startups business to be developed, or to organize with already established suppliers somewhere else in the world, for them to team up or to create joint ventures or to develop a partnership in order to make those different components or parts being manufactured here.
Now, I see the first 20 trains are going to be made in Brazil, and they're expected to come to the country in the fourth quarter of next year, so there's still some time. When would you expect the first trains to be made in South Africa?
So the manufacturing, or I would say the first train which will be manufactured in South Africa and used in revenue service, currently are planned in 2017.
2017. So there's time for industry to get ready for this. I mean, looking at the Gibela consortium itself, 61% Alstom France, everybody knows Alstom, 39% locally held. I presume there's a black economic empowerment component to that as well.
Yeah, and that is obviously a very important aspect of this project. It's not only delivering train and revitalization of the industry, it is also having an active role to play in the country development and more precisely focused on black economic empowerment. And we have addressed that with two pillars. One on the equity, the ownership of the company, for which we have 39% of the equity which will be owned by local partners, and obviously due to the local content localization program we do have, we will involve a lot of other local companies triggered by preferential procurements towards black-owned enterprise or small and medium enterprise or even black women-owned enterprise. So we have a quite well-structured plan to make that happen.
And I presume Alstom, providing the technology and the know-how and the skills transfer, will have people here on the ground to begin with to transfer those skills.
Yes, that is one way to do it. The other way to do it, and that is the main reason why we've made the decision to have the first 20 trains being manufactured by Alstom in one of the already existing sites of Alstom Group Center of Excellence for this kind of train, namely in Brazil. The reason why we've made this decision is to use this manufacturing activity to be a kind of training center for all the people we will employ and send them in order to get trained on the activities they will have to thereafter for 580 remaining trains, if I may say so, to be manufactured here in the country.
And once the trains are built, that's 10 years. The contract does extend for another 10 years, and that's for maintenance and engineering services and the likes. What happens beyond that?
So obviously 10 plus 10 is already a very long period of time, but for sure, first of all, we know that the need of PRASA, the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, is larger than the 600 trains, even though this quantity is very significant. Nevertheless, the overall need is reaching 1,200 trains, so more or less double of what we are speaking about today. So that means in, let's say, after 8 years of delivery or so, PRASA most probably will issue a new call for tender, to which Gibela will be obviously best in a good position to be selected for that.
Final question, any concern about the local labour force and the stability of the labour force? We've just ended a very long strike in the mining sector. We're about to enter a strike in the metal and engineering sector. Is there concern that the local labour force isn't stable and that you could have strike activity which could push out your project?
Of course, it is a concern. It's a bit premature to consider it, because we are just going to start the construction of our factory at the beginning of 2015, and then we will need some time to have it available and to start our manufacturing activity here. So it's not a concern of today. We will have to, I would say, to engage with all the stakeholders. We intend to be an employer of choice, so I hope that our employee will recognize that and will be happy to work together with us.
We have to leave there. Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you very much.
We'll be chatting again soon.
Okay, thank you.
That's Marc Granger. He's the CEO of Gibela.